Senator Hanson, why no?
I totally oppose it, Paul. I always have done. We can't allow ourselves to actually be bleeding hearts over this. My attitude towards this, these people have gone over there to fight against the Western way of life. They hate us with a vengeance. They talk about these wives that have gone with them. A lot of these children have been radicalised and at young ages, 9, 10, 11 years of age, holding up severed heads. This is what they've grown up with. This has been instilled in them. My attitude is that if my grandchild was sitting beside one of these children, would I want it? No, I wouldn't. I'm going to be upfront and honest. If we think that we can actually bring them back and de-radicalise them, think twice about it, because the security they will need, the cost to the taxpayer to watch every step of their move. Will they ever change their views? Will they, that's a big question. And I think, do you really want to risk the security and safety of every Australian here? These women will be unemployable. We will have to find places for them to live, the security involved with it, the cost involved with this. Sorry, they made their bed, they lie in it. And attitude is, I don't want them back in Australia. I don't want to risk one Australian's life by bringing them back here.
Look, this is it. I mean, they made the choice, certainly with their husbands. The question whether the kids or not, I suppose we can chat about that. But, Nick, why yes?
Well, we've got 40 Australian kids, Paul, who are in this camp in northern Syria, and it's one of the most awful, most unsafe places in the world for children to be. They're suffering from malnutrition. It's not safe, and we should do what other countries are doing, countries like us, like the US, like France, like Germany, and try to repatriate these children and their mothers. Now, there's a lot of evidence around what interventions you can make with kids and women in these situations, and the truth is that with the right interventions, they can very safely return to Australia and live good lives. That can be done through a third country. I believe that is the plan, and it's absolutely the right thing for us to do as a country, and it's the right thing to do for these 40 odd.
How do we make it? How can anyone offer a guarantee that, I'm not talking about a 6-year-old, I'm talking about a teenager who saw their father do horrific things to Yazidi women, that person is not going to somehow come back as their whole fundamental worldview is one informed by a parent in ISIS, Nick? How do we get any assurance that kid doesn't eventually bring that hate home?
Well, again, I refer to what was said today by Australian Defence Force experts who work in this area, who have worked with people who have lived in a extremist, radical environment. One of the things they do is they break down their belief or anything they've been taught around violence and aggression. They don't go after the religion directly. They go after the anything around violence they may have been taught. They unpack that. They prove how wrong that is. And these
Nick,
techniques have been proven to work.
Sorry,
yeah,
I have
Pauline,
to cut
get in
in here because that is their religion. That is their religion. Their religion is hatred towards the Western way of life, and that's why they go out there and try and destroy it. And Hezbollah is another one. It's all connected with their religion and their beliefs. It's the fundamentalists, it's the radicals that are out there. And they talk about this is the worst place for children to be reared in. Well, you want to go out to some places in Australia, you want to live the conditions that some of these children in Australia are living in, because they're in poverty. They're actually sexually abused. And we are not looking after our own children here. We're worried about these children over there, 40 children with parents that took them over into these conditions and their beliefs, and you're worried about them? Well, I'm sorry, I'm not. I'll worry about every child in Australia first, that they are taken out of the deplorable conditions that they're actually living in before I worry about kids that are over there with the ISIS parents.